Welcome back to Man Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be, I don't know what we'll be talking about, to be honest, but late night recording. Hooked on a visa. Okay. What from a holiday can we talk about? I suppose today. Actual part of camping. But it was something I was going to talk about, but I don't remember what it was anymore. Like I had a story to tell about the holiday, but I genuinely cannot remember what it was going to be. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:56 p.m. on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. Happy May Day, by the way. What was I going to talk about? I don't remember. I don't know. We went up and down. It was all very tiring. But that's already something I spoke about. So let's talk about. I was trying to think of a different part to talk about. Pot noodle. This isn't what I was going to talk about, but it is what I suppose I can talk about. I mean, pot noodle is not really like. Well, actually, is pot noodle's brand name? What's that like non-brand name? Pot. I guess instant noodles or something. Yeah, instant noodles. Okay. Like, I don't know what I was gonna say about like I've not really had like a pot noodle thing, but I've had instant noodles before, which is just called like fang mian or something in Chinese. That is how I know it. Which I don't know actually if that's a brand or if that's like just like a generic name for these sort of types of instant noodles. But the ones I'm familiar with, I can picture. Like in my head, they have like this orange packaging with like this white diamond on front. No, hold on, maybe I can find it. Chinese instant noodles. I mean, can't remember this like pack. It's not this one. It's not that one. But I've not really had like these potted sort of like instant noodles before. You know, I'm trying to think. My first interaction with pot noodles or instant noodles or anything like that was I don't know where we were. I think we might have been like in the Eurostar or something, which is a train line which basically connects England or UK to France. I think. Not that I think it is. I think that's where I was, and I was super young, and there was like this girl on. It was like me and my sister. There was this girl on the seat in front of us who. I remember she had like a laptop or something, or maybe like it couldn't have been a tablet. There was no way. I was way too young, and like, tablets weren't invented yet. I don't think. But she was watching. You know what it was? I think it was like a specific like DVD player, like a thing which had a screen which you could put DVDs in to watch or something. Or maybe it was a laptop. I don't remember. Anyway, she wasn't like much older than us, but I remember she had like this DVD player and she was like watching movies on it and watching Incredibles or something. And then like eventually at some point we started like speaking to her or something, and then like her mum at some point went to go get like pot noodles I think from like the food train car, and I was just like, whoa, what's that or whatever, and she like gave me a noodle or something. I can't remember to eat. In my mind I was like, whoa, this is like the coolest thing ever. But that was like my first like ever run-in with pot noodle, to be perfectly honest. And it sort of like blew my mind, I suppose, with, you know, what it was. You know, you put hot water in and you just get like a pot of noodles, which it really shouldn't have blown my mind as much as it did, because, you know, I had experience with instant noodles before. Like, again, this brand, which I can't remember what it's called, this Chinese brand. I searched Chinese instant noodles and there's so many Korean ones here, so, you know, it's not but ones. It's not that one. It's like an orangey sort of thing. I mean, maybe its packaging has changed as well. So it's probably not something I can immediately just find like that. But anyway, yeah, that's like my first sort of run-in with pot noodles. And I remember this girl because I remember she was watching. I think she was watching Incredibles 1. Obviously not Incredibles 2. It wasn't released out of time, but she was watching like the bonus DVD featurettes. You know, where like Carrie, is that the babysitter, was babysitting Jack or something like that. And I remember just sort of like watching it, like being enthralled by that entire thing. But that was like the first time I ran into pot noodle. The second time I had pot noodle, I think, might have been in Japan or something. Like me and my friend, we bought. Oh, I remember this now. Like there was an amaterasu, like an okami not vending machine, claw game, which I won like a thing from, and I was like, I thought it was like a statuette or something. I have no idea where it is, by the way, but apparently it was basically like an instant noodle, like a pot noodle. That I don't even know how to describe it, like tool or something, where you're meant to, you pour the boiling water in, and then you put like amaterasu on to like hold down the pot lid or something. I don't really remember it. I'm like, maybe I can find it actually if I find it. Amaterasu instant noodle. Okami then set or free. Yeah, noodle stopper. Okay. Noodle stopper. It wasn't this one. Oh, it's this one, where she's like lying on her back, which is, a very strange pose. I'm not gonna lie for the entire thing, poor thing, but so be it. And I remember like, because it had it, I was like, right, I might as well like buy some pot noodles. Let's try it out. So I remember me and my friend. I think he also got one, not like an Okami Amaterasu one, but like some random other one. We got so much random stuff from the claw machines and stuff in Japan, which is very much a point of it, I think. But we got some pot noodles and we tried it, man. Like, we were staying at like an Airbnb, which by the way was statute of limitations probably up. But apparently Airbnbs are like illegal in Japan, so I was like, whoa, okay. Did not realize that till after the holiday. But we boiled some water, we put it in a pot noodle, and I don't remember what you're meant to do. You're meant to use it as a noodle stopper somehow, but I don't really understand what it does. Like, I guess it's to hold down the film lid or something. I don't really know if it particularly helped. But anyway, we had that pot noodle. I have no recollection of how it tasted or how good or bad it necessarily was, but hey, there you go. So that's like my second run in with pot noodle. The third one was like at some point, like our family just bought them instead of like the actual instant noodles. We actually bought a brand pot noodle. I remember, I think it was like some weird, like it was like some limited edition football World Cup flavor. I think so. It was like a Brazilian one or something. I remember it was not very good. I think it was probably on sale in Costco or something. Anyway, so this is like my fourth run in, I think, with pot noodle. This is one that camp, like we went grocery shopping beforehand. We bought like a load of things, and one of my things that a friend bought was like instant noodles, like pot noodles, because it was like it feels like very sort of camp-esque, like camping sort of food. And I was like, yeah, I kind of agree, despite the fact I've not really had it. Like I certainly associate it with camping food. I actually brought some like egg noodle packs, which were not instant noodles, but like quick to cook noodles, I suppose, if we wanted to make our own noodles. But I was like, no, okay, we can use these pot noodle things. And he bought like 4 different flavors. He bought like let me see, teppanyaki, Peking duck, which is Beijing duck, I guess. Yakitori. That doesn't sound right. Yaki. I don't know. And then the fourth one was curry, like Japanese curry. And I can't remember what brand it was. It was a brand I haven't heard of many pot noodle brands, so I guess it's no surprise that I'd never heard of it. But I had like a black packaging or something, and apparently they're like as far as like pot noodles go, these are like really good ones or whatever. I remember it was a particularly interesting thing like you had to do with them as well. You like put put like boiling water into like let the noodles steep or whatever, and then you put the lid back on, and you need to like drain the water mostly, and then you add the sauce or something. So it was just like, rather than just putting instant noodles in and waiting for like 3 minutes, you do that. And I was like, fascinating. And I remember eating it, I'd be like, this is actually surprisingly good, like for pot noodles. Obviously it's not like world class or anything like that, but it's just like, yeah, it's like surprisingly decent as far as things go. Yeah, it was like surprisingly good. I wish I remembered the brand. Like maybe I took a picture of it. Let's see. I probably did, knowing me, knowing you. But it's what we had that morning. We'll have a video, but I don't really want to play that video out loud because you'll just hear it. But it's surprisingly good. Maybe hold on. I need to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, it was this one. It was cup noodles soba. So is cup noodles a brand, or is it? It's a registered trademark. Okay. And I just need to know what I can actually call the title of this video. But this is exactly what I had. Cup noodles soba wok style Japanese curry. And I was like, it's actually genuinely surprisingly good. The thing I was most fascinated by was the sort of lid design of it, which I don't know, it sounds like a very boring thing to be fascinated by, but I suppose that's just who I am. But it was like, I don't, like, okay, I'm not entirely sure how instant noodles work necessarily, which might sound like a stupid thing to say, because presumably you put like boiling water in and that like can cook with noodles that can rehydrate, I suppose, the vegetables that are in it as well. But the general idea is that you're meant to keep, like with film, or you're meant to keep a lid on to like keep the steam inside. So I guess there's some element of mild like steaming process which happens for these noodles to not preserve them, but to allow them to cook, I suppose, properly. Question mark. But it was interesting because these noodles, like most of the 3 other noodles I suppose I ran into, you keep the boiling water in there and it makes a sort of broth because there's like a powder or something you put in, or there's like a powder at the bottom which is dissolved throughout, and that like helps make like this dashy stock. But this one you're meant to like pour away, I guess maybe because it's like this wok style soba, like if it's meant to be like a yakisoba, it's not meant to be that liquidy, it's not meant to like have a dashi, I suppose. I think I blow my nose now. Sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, but the thing that, as I said, the thing that fascinated me most about it was the literal design of a lid, where it had like these dots in a semicircle going around the lid, and then 2 dots at the top, which they showed like a diagram of how you're meant to pour out the water, which I just did not follow, to be honest. But you're meant to hold it like by both sides, like you hold it with like your 2 thumbs on the lid, and then you have like your rest of your fingers. No, wait. Other way around. The 2 thumbs on the bottom and 2 fingers, and your fingers on the other side, and you're meant to, you know, it kind of makes like a smiley face of dots, and you're meant to like put your fingers in, like on the like sides, like the cheeks of a smiley face, and pour it out. Excuse me. I'm just perishing. I didn't do that. I just held it by the top by putting my thumb in between the top 2 fingers. I remember my friend just being like, "I'm surprised that you're doing that because like it's a fantastic way to like burn your fingers while doing it." But I didn't burn it. Like no, I mean, no boiling water came out of top. Like it would only really do that if I like turned it completely upside down, which I don't know why I would do that necessarily. But hey, here you go. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a fascinating design to have like these holes on the top. I wonder if I can find a photo of me eating the Japanese pot noodles I had. Like I've had like this conversation with a friend about like for one I was like those like pot noodles are surprisingly good, and he was like, yeah, there's actually like some pretty cool ones. And then I have a conversation about like the Korean ones always look like the tastiest to me, and I've never had them, but like they come in these like massive bucket-esque things where you just, well, I mean you have like a literal entire bucket, I suppose, of pot noodle to be eating, which is a lot, certainly. So I'm just trying to find the Japan Summer 2017. Here we go. I forgot what I was going to say, but like, yeah, having this entire bucket, like, I've only seen them from like some random Korean Englishman videos where they like give high schoolers like super spicy Korean pot noodles. I don't know, they always look like super tasty, to be honest. Like, I don't know. The convenience of pot noodles I certainly respect. I can't say it's exactly the most healthiest thing to be eating. I think there's an association of it and like university or like college students as well as like a cheap meal or something. But to be honest, they're not even that cheap. Like, it's much cheaper to actually just like cook your own, or kind of cook your own noodles. Just like buy like noodles en masse and just buy some cheap vegetables and get like some soy sauce. And like, will it taste the same necessarily? No, maybe not. But maybe if you get some MSG or something, it will. I have no idea when during this trip we actually ate the pot noodles. So it's going to be probably rather difficult. Wow, just look at these pictures. We look so young here. I don't think it was when we went to Disney. Remember, we rounded off the trip with Disney. That was a great trip. What a fun time that was. What's this? I have a Love Life cafe, which I was just like, what? But that's a story for another time. But we basically went to a cafe, like, because at the time I like really liked Love Life, and then like I saw that there was like a Love Life cafe that was happening, and I was like, you could enter to get tickets or something, and then like we won, and then I went there, and my basic conclusion was like, I don't think I'm right target audience of this. Like my friend obviously was not, because he knew nothing about Love Life, but I was just like, what is going on? I felt like so out of place there. It was so strange. Anyway, I'm sure if you're about target audience, you'd be like, yeah, this is my jam. But for me, I was just like, how odd. I don't know who I spoke to, but just walk in, immediately left. We have our recipe. Lily was our recipe, yes. I'm just trying to find what pot noodle that we had. I've no idea what that Amaterasu statue is. And that's, amusingly, I had that before I played Okami. Like, I knew Amaterasu from Marvel vs. Capcom before I knew her from Okami. So I'm glad I'm actually playing her game now, so we can actually see them origins, you know? I forgot what I was going to say about this. Oh yeah, we went to a town of... Wow, we did like a lot of things. Oh no, you're ill? Do we have medicine? We do have medicine. Don't you worry, Audie. I've been sneezing a lot recently as well, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like instant noodles get like a lot of disrespect, and certainly I don't. You should not at all base your entire nutritional value from instant noodles or pot noodles. That is honestly a genuinely terrible idea. Maybe I didn't like take a picture of the pot noodles, because I'm pretty sure it was when we were staying in Tokyo. And I've scrolled upwards and this is Tokyo, so or maybe I just took like one picture of it or something. That was like a really great trip. We should go back to Japan at some point. Is my conclusion on seeing all of this. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, I mean, instant noodles I think gets like kind of maligned. Unfairly so, because I mean the entire point of it is it's meant to be like a quick, easy meal, right? You know, I'm sure it's like a lot of people's actually like first introduction to cooking, quote something, which you might be like, it's not really cooking. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're like 10 or something, you know, like not everyone learns how to cook like complex meals at 10. Some people, you know, like get a start with like instant noodles, and I'm sure when you're 10 you're just like, yeah, I felt great, like I actually made quote something for myself. Obviously, as I say, you should not have all your nutritional value from instant noodles, because you honestly will not get that much from it in the first place. You'll only get a very limited amount, which is particularly unhealthy, I would say. But certainly, like, if you need something just quick and easy and convenient, I don't see why not have it. It doesn't look like I took a picture of the instant noodles when we made them, or maybe we didn't have them in Tokyo? I don't know. Which is crazy, because look at all the photos I took. Unless we had it, like, after Disneyland. That's possible. I don't think so, though. Anyway. You might be like, has this inspired you to go purchase more pot noodle or something? No. Not really. But it does make me appreciate, I suppose, the convenience of it. And camping, I suppose, is one of the times where it very much gets highlighted, because you can just sort of like bring it out. You only need to do is boil water and just pour it into a cup, right? Anyway, I'm going to round this episode up here, because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. So if you haven't watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.